with his squire, 3 archers, and a billman. I was already willing to sign him up even before he spoke. He was a handsome young man, and I wondered why he was not a knight. Robin and Sir Owen nodded their approval, and William happily gave him a contract to sign. As soon as it was signed, I said, "I am curious, sir, why you are not a knight, for you seem to have every attribute you might need except for a title." He smiled. "I am the youngest brother of 3, and our manor is a poor one. The most impressive thing about it is the name. I chose the life of a sword for hire, but I have hopes that I may earn my spurs while I'm here. I was brought up to believe that chivalry and honour are the most important things in life. For all that I said I was surprised you were not a knight, I confess that here titles mean nothing, at least not to me and my men. Perform well on the battlefield and you will earn more than any English knight would." He seemed surprised. "Do we not all earn the same?" William shook his head. "There is a basic fee that we pay to all men, but performance on the field can earn more." "Thank you. Then I will try to earn it." Taking his pile of coins, he and his men left. The laughter as they left told me that they got on. That was not always true of lances. The next Englishman, John Dobson, was also a good choice. But as he turned to leave, he leaned in and said, "You know that there is a rumour that the man called Andrew de Belmonte, whom you just signed, is a bastard of the English royal family." I had learned that most mercenaries do not gossip, and I guessed there might be some truth in the rumour. It would make sense if some royal prince had ploughed a lady's furrow that he might be brought up differently. It was interesting, but that was all. I had earned a title, but it was largely irrelevant. I wanted men who could fight. Andrew would soon learn to forget his chivalric ideas. There were 2 more who signed up after the Englishmen. Both were Hungarians, and I knew how doughty they were. I was quite happy for them to join. One, Laszlo Kepernik, looked to be a potential leader. I had many Hungarians under my command, and having a leader of the same nationality often helped with communication. The next man was a huge German who swaggered up, and he looked as though he thought this was a mere formality. He was wrong. He had with him a squire who was almost as big. He carried the 2-handed sword favoured by the Swabians and Germans. "Karl von Storms, where do I sign?" I did not like him from the moment he spoke. I had endured enough of arrogant Germans, and I was tempted to dismiss him out of hand. William looked first at me and then back at the German. "Have you any horses?" He snorted with derision. "Why should I need a horse? With this sword I can hew down any rider who comes close to me." He was right, of course, and we did have men-at-arms who fought on foot. I glanced over at my captains who, hearing the loud voice, had stopped their sparring and were now looking over at me. Robin was an archer, but I trusted his judgment more than any other man. He gave a slow and clear shake of the head. I looked up at the German and smiled. "Thank you for your offer, but we have no need of you at this time." He turned to look at me as though I was the village idiot who had asked the most ridiculous of questions. "You know who I am? I am the butcher of Nissa, and any captain of condottieri would be lucky to have me. Most would make me a captain." I smiled. "Then you should have no trouble finding another to take you on." William said dismissively, "Next." The German backhanded William hard across the face, and the man who was responsible for my money was hurled to the ground. When I had been younger, I had been handy with my fists. I knew how to brawl. As I stood to face and punish this arrogant German, I knew I had to win. The German wore plate, and I had on a per punto tunic. Although padded, it would only soften a blow, while his plate would stop my blows from hurting him. He was bigger than I was, and, taking the initiative, I punched hard.